Welcome to the replay. Welcome to November's Time to Art. Hashtag Time for Art. And this week, this month, our theme is craft fair. So welcome to our November craft fair. I'm going to wait for the people that are hopping on over from our lovely Meris. Oh, and here they come now. Look at this. Candy and Eileen and Erin. Oh, and Nancy, good morning. And Mitzi. Ruth, good morning. Teresa. AuntBecs, good morning and welcome. Joyce and Peggy and Laurie. I messaged Laurie earlier. I was just having a little time zone panic thinking, am I late? But I wasn't. Good morning, dear Lizzie. I appreciate that you're up and at them. You're up so early today. Here comes Nashwa all the way from Egypt. Come in. Nashwa's been slow stitching, haven't you? Oh, Deborah, good morning. I'm going to spend a little bit of time at the beginning reading the chat because I just don't want to miss you. Amina, good morning. Oh, so nice to see you all. Lovely. Gail, good morning. Oh, so lovely. So glad that you could join me today for our November Time for Art Hop, live hop. Thank you to our lovely Meri for organising this hop for us. Good morning, Lala. Nice to see you. And good morning, Kimberly and Beef the dog. Welcome, welcome. So slow stitching, as someone said in my group last week, slow stitching, it's just another word for hand stitching. We've just reinvented it, haven't we? Oh, I was listening to Brooke from Recreations by Brooke this morning on the replay. She did a live yesterday and she was defining the word slow stitch. Oh no, that's just a phone call. I'm going to phone my dad back later in half an hour's time. Oh, you told Beefy you were hopping today, Kimberly, did you? Oh, I expect Freddie will be hopping into puddles later. So Brooke was defining quite nicely slow stitching for us. It's mindful stitching. It's slowing down. But just like creating a glue book or a junk journal, we can all approach this in a different way. We'll all have our different take on slow stitching. Some people, it might be relaxing for them to create beautiful embroidery or cross stitch. For others, it might be doing running stitches, randomly sewing, time just running away with you, stitching for no reason. I didn't need to do this little pattern on here, but I just wanted to. I just get carried away. Oh. So, this is what I've been creating for our live stream hop. I'll do some demoing and we can stitch along together. Oh, Lala, yes, that's it. Relax into the background. There's quite a lot of people just relaxing in the background. It's early for some, and some people aren't feeling that well either. We will craft for you. You relax and we'll do the crafting for you. Good morning, Maljoy. Ah, welcome. Yes, hand stitching. All Arlene's hand stitching is slow. It is. I think it just slows us down, doesn't it? Thank you, AuntBecs. I'm very much looking forward to later on when AuntBecs is going to be doing a cloth wreath. I have one that Maljoy made for me, a cloth wreath, and I bring that out every year. Maybe I will have a go this year. Oh, Erin, yes. You just relax. Yes, definitely. So I've been making a large snippet roll. And this is a completed one. So I snipped it off, the snippet roll, and created a pin cushion. Our theme is craft fair, but I'm actually going to give this to my niece, Katie, for her Christmas present. Look, Lizzie, I haven't got hearts on my heartstrings, but I've got beads. Oh, good morning, Meri. Good morning, Meri Berry. And good morning, Meri, our lovely creator of Time for Art. Welcome. And it folds over like so. Let me talk you through this. I've got some of it in all its various stages to show you. I know Meri's sat back in the recliner doing some slow stitching for her slow stitching journal. This was made for me by Mrs. Gigi's daughter, Hannah. Isn't that beautiful? Sent all the way from Sweden. She crocheted it. Absolutely beautiful. And it's going to become a little family heirloom, maybe. I'll give this to Katie. I've got a little K for Katie there. I like to put some embellishments on, a little button embellishment. And some beads. It's interesting how my slow stitching has evolved. Very interesting. Let me just show you, because I've just started to do something a little different. I'm tending now to fill all, oh, not that one. Where's the one where I'm filling all the gaps? Oh, maybe this. Look, I've been sewing because Suze was telling me about Japanese stitching, and they tend to put, there's a name for it, but I can't remember. They tend to put running stitches all the way along, a little bit like mending. When we still do when we mend clothes. Oh, so that's my needle case. And some thread that's like a tape measure. I always like to add buttons, and that just does up. Wouldn't that, you could make like a little cloth journal, or put a paper journal in something like this too. That's another idea. Would make a nice journal cover. So that's that one. And I also, oh, look at this tiny little bit here. Are you admiring this embroidery here? This was my mother's embroidery. It's a tablecloth. Absolutely gorgeous, isn't it? And this is the pin cushion. And you can see that I have done a little bit of patchwork three little hexagons, if you can make it out. I actually turn the edges under for this, but with the slow stitching for our craft and our relaxing, it doesn't matter if there's raw edges. I don't usually turn the edges under. Good morning, Malaya. Oh, you're up early. Oh, but probably the children have got you up early. Oh, Meri says you like the idea of a needle case instead of the classic tomato cushion. Oh, yes. Although the tomato cushion is amazing because it contains sand to sharpen the needles, doesn't it? This has just got some old snippets of wool left over from a project in it. Oh, Shashiku, Japanese stitching. Thank you, Meri, for putting in that link. Back to your slow stitching now, Meri. Oh, so yes, you can see here. This is where I'm really beginning to relax in because it's just a running stitch. And you just cover it in running stitches. So what you do is you pop someone a lovely stream on the big telly and you put your feet up and you can just sit back and relax and slow stitch. I realise some people are in the background. They're not relaxing. I know you're busy getting the family ready to start the day, so welcome to you too. Ah, good morning, Mrs. Gigi. I've just shown let me show again just for Mrs. Gigi, the needle case I've been making from my snippet roll. Look what's on the front here. Love your lovely daughter Hannah's work. This is just so talented, so delicate. Wow. And this is going to be given to my niece, Katie, for Christmas. And Katie is just so lovely, and I know that she will treasure it. So thank you, Hannah. I know, Meri. Isn't it absolutely amazing? It's just a needle case, Mrs. Gigi. I'll pop that over there. And I found some charms as well. So this is a little sewing machine. And Christy, just take a little look what started to happen here. I would have carried on, but I didn't want to cover up the hexagons. I've started unintentionally to create a mandala. So I'm going to get on one of these. I'm going to carry on with this. It's very relaxing to do. Try to get it in focus for you. Going to start creating a sewn mandala with sequins and little beads, seed beads. Thank you, Teresa. Thank you. Oh, thank you, Gigi. I know, Lizzie, the sewing machine charm. I know. I don't go into hobbycraft very often, but I treated myself to a little trip and I bought a little packet of charms. You need some sequins. Yes, one of my friends gave me quite a lot of sequins a while back, and they've been sat in here. So it's nice to have an opportunity. Yes, a fabric mandala would make a beautiful Christmas gift. That is what I'm going to be working on. Maybe working, you can't call it work, playing on. Maybe this afternoon when I'm stitching along, listening to all the lovely hop lives. So let me just talk you through my snippet rolls. Oh, look, it's stuck on my hand. Oh. Oh, look for shadow boxes to put some of the slow stitching in shadow boxes. It's a good idea, Aunt Bex, if that's what you meant. Oh, Vanessa, you're working on your room. Oh, yes, you are, Vanessa. How's it going? Oh, yes. Slowly but surely, Vanessa. Yes. Is it work? Is it play? A little of both. Yes. So no hard and fast rules. And Brooke on her channel last night was saying you could call it fabric collage. And it does go through an ugly phase as well. It really does. Because this, I tell you, this really did go through an ugly phase. Like it does when you're doing a prompt game. And I thought, oh, is it that little bit of pressure because I'm doing it for the hop and not just for my pure, joy? But no, I just had to work through it. And I do think I'm happy with it. It turned out beautifully. Oh, fabric collage. Good morning, Ben. Welcome. Oh, nice to see you. I've been keeping out of mischief, Ben. We're calling it slow stitching. It's really just stitching. Yes. I've made a needle case for Katie for Christmas, and I'm going to make this one into a needle case for my sister-in-law Rachel. So you can see I've tacked on some little pieces here, and I think you call this applique, but I don't turn the edges, and I'm just sewing them on, and I will come in here with some other thread and sew round. And the nice thing about having the snippet roll on the go is if you don't fancy doing that, then you can start on something else. Now I'm going to make this one into a tag, and I don't usually pin it all down, but I've just pinned it down just so you can see it. Here's one that's not got as much pinned on. It's going to be a little house with a house plant. Oh. And this is one in the early stages. So that's why it's quite a nice idea to have it on have a snippet roll. All these new words, Ben, snippet rolls and slow stitching. Oh. So, without further ado, I think I'm just going to sit with you while you're relaxing in the background and maybe do a little bit of slow stitching. This one's all finished, ready to go. Well, the other thing I want to show you, I'm late to the game. A slow stitch tag. Yes, Meri. Oh, thank you, Arlene. That's so kind of you. I discovered this. Now, you American quilters will know what this is. This is called batting, and I discovered this from Kathy, from Kathy's World. She was on with Christy. She was talking about batting, and she does her slow stitching. It's quite strong. Aunt Bex, you'll know all about this. She does her slow stitching straight onto this, actually. I might do that next time. And I bought the cotton one. I bought it online. And it's what quilters use. Cotton batting. Yes, you can get a nylon batting, but I thought this would be really nice and soft to work with. Oh, and it is. Oh, thank you. Well, okay. You like the idea of the tag. Let's work on that now. Lovely. I shall unpin it for a little bit. And you can tack them on, do a running stitch. The rules are yours. It's not like I thread my needles before the live. I hope you're impressed. Ah, Lucia. Ah, a slow stitch tag swap would be fun. Yes, maybe in January. Yes, Josie from when I was on one of my lives made that suggestion. She lives in Italy. So yes, I haven't forgotten that idea. Yes. Or if anybody else wants to organise that, yes, go ahead. Do. It's called wadding. Yes, welcome, Pin. I'm not sure, Pin, of your Christian name. Welcome. Yes, cotton wadding, 100% cotton. Beautiful, so soft. Oh, look, let me show. There we are. That's it. Lovely emojis from Meri. Ah. Ah, yes. Well, hand stitched gifts can last forever. This was my grandmother's. I've got a feeling my mum made it. Isn't it cute? And I showed it to Sam yesterday, and he said, "Oh, I recognise that." Because when I was teaching the boys how to sew on their scout badges, or we were doing a bit of sewing, do you remember it, Ben? I used my little needle case. I use this more these days. So, yes, they can go down through generations. You do remember it, Ben. Goodness, how old? I don't know how old it is. It might be about 60 or 70 years old. Crazy, isn't it? It had a little thimble in this bit, but that's probably gone rusty. Good morning, Barb. Nice to see you. We're slow stitching, Barb. We're calling it fabric collage. Welcome, Barb, to the November Time for Art Hop. Very nice to see you. Good morning. And oh, all of you, I appreciate you being here actually. Ruth, good morning. Oh, Janet says, did I stitch through all the layers? Can I show the back? Yes, I can. So this one has got a lining, and I put some of the cotton wadding in, did some blanket stitch. If you can't blanket stitch, don't worry. It's not a problem, just do a running stitch. And the back, yes, there's the back. So, yes, this is just a piece of old duvet popped in the wash. And yes, there's the back. Stitching right on the back. Next time I'm going to use the cotton wadding and stitch through that. Let me just show you the back of this though. Back in the day when people did embroidery, the back was as neat as the front. But of course this tablecloth was designed to be used and put through the wash, wasn't it? Our stitching doesn't need to be so precise. Look at the back. That is sheer fun there. Oh. So yes, well, there we are. Have I lost that needle now? Let me see, where did I put it? So this is, oh, it came undone. So let me thread it again. Oh no, that's that one. There we are. It didn't come undone. There we are. So sending love to Sana. If you're watching this on the replay or in the background, we're sending love to you, Sana. I hope you're making a steady, slow and sure recovery. Oh, thank you, Lizzie. Oh, back at you, Lizzie. There was a time when I was in the background and not very well and listening to Meri. And I was listening to Meri too, watching Meri's wonderful art, and I was listening to Lizzie, and I used to rewind and rewind Lizzie's positive saying that she did at the end of the video. Oh, so I do appreciate you being up so early. Not so early for Mrs. Gigi. And it's nearly bedtime for Cindy. That's, isn't it, Cindy? That's the beautiful thing about our worldwide community here, that we can get inspiration from one another and company. Good morning. Ah, Hildegan, good morning. I'm just getting to know Hildegan, and Hildegan sent me some photographs of some of her knitting that she had been doing during lockdown. Some amazing, correct me if I'm wrong, Swedish, Danish, do come in and correct me, Hildegan. Beautiful jumpers, hand knitted jumpers. She's made 5 during lockdown. Beautiful adult sizes, incredible. And it's plain, and then the yoke is in this beautiful traditional pattern. Okay, yes, Cindy. Yes, Cindy and I are 24 hours a time difference, aren't we? Oh, the time difference does get a little bit confusing. I was sat here an hour early this morning, Norway. Forgive me for not remembering Norway. Yes. Oh, goodness, I loved your knitting, Hildegan, and I think you've just started to share your work in some of the groups too. Absolutely lovely. So you can see that my hands are having to move quite slowly. As Brooke was saying, it's quite a well-being thing to do. Mindful. That's the word I was looking for. That's the buzzword at the moment, isn't it? Mindfulness. It's quite a mindful thing to do. We can just slow down and do a few stitches. Oh, yeah. And we've got a full day of ideas. You'll need your notebook to write down all the ideas today. And I expect, Cindy, you'll be watching on the replay, won't you? Most of the morning hop. And later on tonight, I do apologise in advance. I will be missing some of the girls. The hop has a break and then it starts again at 6 p.m. Central Time. And yes, I will be able to watch some, but it will get very late for me too. Extra slow. Oh, that means you're going to be extra relaxed, Laurie. Because Laurie truly does make things for craft fairs and for sale, don't you, Laurie? I've noticed I have a video to catch up on of Laurie's. You were painting gourds yesterday. And interestingly, when I was on your live the other day, you've been painting for a while, haven't you? I was going to say for many years. And yes, selling your painting as well. That's amazing. Oh, Lucia is up next. Once I've finished making bookmarks. Yeah, thank you, Lucia, for being part of the hop. I know that you're a really busy person, and that straight after your half-hour slot, you will be starting work. Yeah, so we do appreciate you. Thank you. Yes, it will be a good start for you though, Lucia. Starting the day with art. When I was working, I used to start the day doing a little bit of sticking and gluing. But I was very lucky that I could do art at work, because I worked in a centre for people with dementia. So I was able to do arts and cooking with all our clients. So I was very lucky. Oh, I love to hop too, Lucia. But do tell me when it's time for me to stop and it's time to hop over to Lucia's. Let me know. So, yes, just a case of choosing something else now. Look at me with organised with my thread already done. I hope you're impressed. Oh dear. There's no right and there's no wrong here. There's no set way to do things. Oh, 8 minutes. How wonderful. How wonderful. I'm settling into the hops and I know I'm judging how long I have now. Yes, yes. Didn't seem a lot to start with, but now it seems just right. Just literally. You could do, if you know some fancy stitches, do some stitches, some chain stitches or French knots. Or if you want to, just do a little running stitch like this. That Japanese stitching is very much like this. Good morning, Roy. He's saying good morning to the Nashettes. Oh, we sound like a singing group, don't we? Good morning, Roy. This is something that's your cup of tea, isn't it, Roy? Oh, yes. Roy loves to sew and make things. Ah. We're doing some slow stitching today, Roy, and I've made a pin cushion. I didn't show you the back. I didn't show you the back. Melanie, dear, are you still there? Melanie might be in the background because she's working. I'll show her again later. But this piece of fabric was in a pile of snippets and odd bits that Meljoy gave me. Meljoy got a bag of fabrics from a shop that was closing down, but also her family collect lots of fabrics, and this was a hexagon already cut out, and I do believe it's vintage, so this would be cut out by Melanie's mum. Isn't that gorgeous? Melanie's probably gone into the background now, so I will show her later. So that is amazing. There's a little piece of history there. Isn't that amazing? Thank you, Meri. Very precious. Well, Roy, I'll let you into a secret. I'm vintage too. No longer 21. I'm 21 and again and again. I think many of us are. There are a few of us that aren't. Our lovely Malaya, you're not vintage yet, are you? Joyce won a huge bag of slow stitching goodness from me on Wednesday night. Oh, lovely. How lovely. That is nice, isn't it? I don't think I watched the end. I did watch you making the Meri tags, though. I watched on the replay. Vintage, yes, Lala. We are good, aren't we? Vintage, yes. So yes, just some running stitches, but if you wanted to, you could do a little. It doesn't, yeah, I'm just going to, in the middle of all that running stitch, let's just try a French knot. Pop it through there. We do. We get better with age. Good morning, Juanita. How are you? Oh, nice to see you. Oh, you gave me the wrong time. Oops. Well, don't worry. Just tell me when to go, and I can go, and that's not a problem. So pop your needle up like this, and then you go round once and twice. Brooke did this on her channel, and there's a name for how many times you wind it round. I think it's a navel thing. Arlene says, your friend sent you a big box containing 10 pounds of quilting scraps. It is divine. It sounds divine. Oh, you can do a lot with scraps, can't you, Arlene? As you can see. Snippets and scraps. So you wind it round and then you pull it through. Hold those little windy round bits with your thumb. Pull it up like this. Oh, of course, it's joined to the slow stitch. Okay, and then you just pop it down through the same hole. Shall we try that again? Oh, look, it's joined to the slow stitch there, but we don't mind. So come up like this. Good morning, Christy. How nice to see you. Good morning. French knot. And maybe if you do it more than twice, it becomes something different. Or maybe there's different names for it, AuntBecs. You're right. Come up like that. Probably not easy to get in focus. Wind it round a couple of times or more. Hold those windy roundy bits with your finger. Time's up. And go back through down. And there we have a French knot. And thank you all. Goodbye. And thank you. And thank you for all that were on the replay too. Thank you for coming. I'm going to try and put the links in my description once it's edited. The links in the chat. So hop over to Lucia, and I'll see you there. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for joining me so early in the morning too. I appreciate that. Goodbye, everybody. Hop on over, please do. Hop on over to Lucia. Absolute pleasure, Meri. No, thank you for organising this, Meri. Kimberly. Oh, I always love having you all round. Yes, I really do. So I'm going to end my stream now and say thank you very much. Give you time for a little break, little 5-minute break if you need it, and hop over to Lucia's. The link's up above. Thank you, Meri. Thank you all. Goodbye.